Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. My name is Kohai and today I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple of ways to increase your dream recall. Alright, so let's get started. Starting off, there's a lot of different levels of dream recall. There's people that begin with a really good recall. There's people that begin with rock bottom recall. They've never recall dreams. They maybe only recall nightmares or really intense, vivid dreams. This is okay. This is where a lot of people start. And all you need to do is train, practice. Everyone can recall dreams because we dream for reasons, and those reasons are to either be emotionally prepared for things or to practice things more, like muscle memory. So for an example, if you play guitar and you practice a lot during the day, in some of your dreams there might be you practicing the same thing you practice during the day in your dreams, because your brain goes over patterns and muscle memory that you've done during the day to make sure that when you sleep the next day you wake up, you'll be better at it. That's why basically when you study or when you're trying to study for like school, if you don't sleep, you probably won't remember much of what you studied. That's why a good night's sleep after 3 hours of study is really important. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is having a nighttime routine. For either dream recall and lucidity, this is both very important. They're getting very overlooked by a lot of people. So basically, from my research, it is fine. Like I found that preparing my mind, so putting my mindset towards lucid dreaming or recall is very important. Because if you're like, let's say for example, you're using mild, and before you go to bed, the only thing you do is say, I'm dreaming, I'm dreaming, I'm dreaming, and then you just fall asleep. It's not going to work because you won't have the mindset of going lucid or recalling your dreams. So properly preparing your mind and relaxing your body, as well as having good consistent sleep pattern, is so very essential. So the first thing that I'd say you should do is make your bedroom like comfortable, make it smell good, clean it up. Just make sure it's clean, quiet and stuff. Like make it like a sanctuary for you. Just think you're the god and you're in your sanctuary, or you're in your temple, you know? So it's very important to only use your bed for sleep. If you go into your bed while you're watching a movie or you're on your phone just doing nothing, your mind will not associate your bed with just sleep, which makes it harder to fall asleep, and it makes it harder to recall dreams. Because if you subconsciously associate your bed with sleep, then you should associate sleep with dreaming. And then you'll also become tired when you're in your bed because your mind knows, okay, I'm going to sleep, I'm going to dream, which is very important. Knowing you're going to dream is key to recalling, because if you don't believe you're going to dream, you won't recall a dream, because belief is key. Intent. So if you're one of those people that just immediately goes to bed or goes to sleep when they go to bed, you should start by like going to bed maybe around 15 minutes earlier than usual and do your routine. So what I like to do is I like to read through my previous like 2 or 3 dreams and try to recall them, and then pretend that I'm lucid in a dream. Why? Because having your dream state, your dreams associated with lucidity, will give your subconscious like a sort of mental connection between, okay, this is a dream, I should be lucid in there. And if you do that every night, you'll see that you'll not only get more vivid dreams, but also be lucid way more. The second thing I like to do is just relax, have a cup of tea, or just something to drink, not like coffee or Coke or anything like that. That's just like too stimulant for you because you won't fall asleep then. What you can also do is you just go to your journal to like a clean page and just write down the date for tomorrow as well as like your time that you have, and then just leave space there to write down your dreams, because then your mind will think, okay, so I'm making a page for tomorrow where I am 100% going to write down a dream or multiple, which also puts your mind in the mindset of, okay, tomorrow when I wake up, I'll have a dream to write down. The next thing is relaxation, which I also think is really important. I like to do meditation for this, or I like to listen to music. Basically, just being relaxed and not having too much on your mind will make it way easier to think about other things that you want than only your stress and your worries. Okay, so as we've talked about a night routine, this is really important because it will bring your mind into a state of a pattern, and consistency is key, as we know. Okay, so the next thing is mindset. The first step, or well, the second step right now to good recall is being optimistic about your recall. Like, obviously, it might sound really trivial and irrelevant to some people at first, but trust me, it's not. A generally optimistic mindset about dreaming is something every experienced lucid dreamer will recommend to you. I bet you, if you ask any like good lucid dreamer, what is the one thing that you must have? It is a optimistic mindset. It helps improve recall so much, just like a pessimistic mindset will decrease it. Because if you say every night when you wake up and you don't remember a dream, and you say to yourself, wow, my recall must be shit, then your recall will be shit. But if you think, okay, I might have not remembered it, but tomorrow I will remember a dream, you'll be way more likely to remember a dream. It's the same with, don't stress about it. Just be cool. Every night is practice, remember? Then you shouldn't worry about the connection between your memory in real life and your memory in dreams. For me, a recall used to be not very good, but my real life memory is so vivid. Like, I can remember things I've done 3 years ago with great detail. I can remember a lot of things from my waking life, but my dream recall was just really bad when I first started. So don't worry if your recall is like really bad and your waking memory is super good. There's not really much of a correlation, because the way you recall dreams is way different than the way you recall in real life memories. Okay, then we're going in about mantras. Since we're talking about mentally setting yourself up for recall, you should really use mantras. Mantras are a really good way of setting your intent. They're very useful for lucid dreaming in general. You can also, well, obviously use them for dream recall. As you use them for lucid dreaming, you say, I will be lucid in my next dream. You could also use a mantra like, I remember my dreams, or I wake up after every dream and remember it. As long as your intent is there, that's the most important thing. Okay, so now we're going to talk about one method that is really important, and it's a dream journal. Obviously, a lot of people already have a dream journal, but now we're going to talk about mental map recall. So, when we wake up naturally, normally in the end of a sleeping cycle, we tend to be flooded with several memories, and they usually represent fragments of dreams, or of one dream, that we may have had during the night, and especially the ones in the lost cycles, because they are closest to the wake point. We then quickly try to organize the puzzle and form a coherent story with all those like small pieces, but unfortunately that's not how our brain works. It doesn't process the information in a sequential manner, but instead it fires it in several directions through a huge neuronal maze, accessing memories by principles of connectivity. This applies not only to when we try to remember where we went on our last vacations, but also when we try to recall our dreams. Ta-da! So you might ask me, how does this apply to dream recall? Dream recall can be divided into three stages. There is memory recollection. That's basically where we remember pieces and images of our lost dreams. And then there's memory organization, where we join those bits and pieces and try to merge them into a story or a collection of mini episodes. And then there's step 3, which is dream journaling, where we note them down. Many lucid dreamers have one goal, and that's to wake up and quickly go to their notebook or notepad or whatever, and then just write down the biggest number of details that come to their mind, trying to write as fast as they can and as much as they can in order to form their dream story. Well, now, in my opinion, this might actually present two issues. Dreams are very prolific in scenario transitions. And what this means is that it's not always easy for the dreamer to determine if this memory belongs to this part of the dream or another complete distinct dream. So trying to remember everything and noting it down might just make the exercise harder when later you're trying to make sense out of it. Even though it's nice to remember every single bit, the memories of our dreams are formed by a vast array of long-term and short-term memories, emotional processing, and other events produced by our subconscious. And it doesn't matter much if you can describe what color the ground was if you can't remember why you were there in the first place. Performing dream recall in a sequential way may cause you to lose the most important details or end up with a mess of text when you want to organize your notes. Also, sequential dream recall is just boring and hardworking for a lot of people. And many people consider dream journaling to be one of the most painful tasks in the lucid dreaming routine. Because while it is important not to assume that only some parts of the dream are important, it is much easier to reach good recall by quickly constructing the several scenarios that form the episode than to describe each physical detail. Maybe that's something that you would like to avoid when you're improving your dream recall. So the bottom line is that some ideas that wander through the common knowledge of lucid dreaming support the recall that relies in remembering the last thing, then the thing before, then before that, like you're actually describing one thing after the other. And we know very well that's not the way that we retrieve memories, but instead we make connections between one concept and another, and bit by bit we tend to form the big picture. The dream storyline is even way more volatile of that of our waking life, so the best way to recall is that where you reach the big chunks of memory by simply associating without a strict path. And this is where mental maps come in super handy. The mental maps are an organizational system to take notes, which is created by this person called Tony Buzan, and they serve multiple purposes like presenting ideas in a clear and simple way, simplifying concepts and more easily expose information, define objectives, and improve and organize memory. The reason that mental maps are so effective is because they work just like the human brain. They shoot spontaneously in several directions at the same time, they make constant connections, and they ramify continuously. Due to their high effectiveness, they are also used in governmental agencies, educative systems, and even business areas. Okay, so now you're going to ask me how to create a mental map for dream recall. Okay, so the primary idea is to define an image or keyword that can define your dream. So you can either put the day or the dream title, whatever suits your best. For example, if you're recalling several dreams, you can put something like dream recall and then the 11th of March 2020. And this element is meant to be placed in the center of the page, which should be preferably be white and big. Because you're going to use several colors and expand it quite a bit, the first step can be done just a few minutes before you lay down to bed in order to give you the extra boost of intention of recalling your dreams. And here comes the fun part. Mental map dream recall. So when you wake up, simply start recalling all the details that come to your head and start distributing them on the page, linking them to the main concept, which can once again be like the dream title. Basically like if you were mapping a street. To each significant element, write along the line and draw a dot, so you can define that element as significant. Don't just write it with any words, use the most suggestive and uncommon ones you can find, in order to establish a memory that's easier to retrieve later. The goal is to form a network of ideas in a fast and efficient way, but without being stuck to the sequential path. So basically, you put your night in the middle and then you start expanding to the left, to the right, just like our brain does, which is so key for a good recall. This is such a fun way of recalling, because you're basically making a drawing out of all of your dreams. Okay, so for this video, we've talked about 3 crucial parts of recall. One is a mindset. Be positive. Remember, every day, every night is practice. As long as you try, you'll be good. 2 is intent. Intent and mantras are really important for lucid dreaming, and so you can also use them for recall. And then 3 is the mental map. This is what I like to use for recall, and it can help others as well. If you have any questions, you can leave them either in the comments or you can ask them on me on Discord. The Night Realm Discord link is, as usual, always in the description. I hope this video was very educative for all of you, and I hope you've learned something of it. And as always, have a good day, guys.